Why do some people build wealth effortlessly while others struggle their entire lives? The difference isn't income or luck, it's understanding how money systems work together. Most people treat budgeting, saving, and investing as separate tasks. But what if I told you they're actually interconnected pieces of one machine? More than 60% of Canadians lack basic financial literacy. This systems approach becomes even more valuable. When you understand how each financial decision affects the others, you can avoid the common mistakes that keep people stuck. Today, I'm breaking down the 8-pillar financial system that turns your money into a wealth-building engine. I am Kane. I own properties throughout Ontario. I've been in the housing industry for nearly 20 years. Please watch my biography video to learn about my story. Be sure to read the references in the description below to see where I've pulled this information from. Please comment if there are any mistakes. Before we dive in, we need to identify what's quietly sabotaging most people's progress. Most people think they need more income to build wealth. They ask for raises, work overtime, or start side hustles. But there's something quietly destroying their financial system from the inside. You can make all the money in the world, but if your system has a massive leak, you'll never get ahead. Your financial system works like a car engine. All parts must work together, or the whole thing breaks down. You need fuel, oil, coolant, and spark plugs all functioning properly. If one component fails, the entire engine stops working. The same thing happens with your money. You can have a budget, savings account, and investment plan, but if one piece is broken, your whole system fails. The biggest system killer isn't low income or bad luck. It's high interest debt acting like a massive leak in your wealth tank. Every month, this leak drains your system before you can build any momentum. Credit card companies know this. They make billions from people who carry balances month after month. With approximately 50% of Canadians living paycheck to paycheck, this debt trap becomes even more devastating for financial progress. Let me show you the math. When you carry credit card debt at high interest rates that can reach up to 24% while trying to invest for 7% returns, you're losing money on every dollar. You put $100 into your investment account hoping it grows to $107 by year end, but you also owe $100 on your credit card at 20% interest, which grows to $120 by the end of the year. Your net position is negative $13. You're moving backwards even though you think you're investing. This creates a negative feedback loop where your system fights against itself instead of building momentum. You save money in one account while paying interest on another. You invest in stocks while credit card debt grows faster than your returns. Your emergency fund earns 1% while you pay 20% on debt. The numbers don't work. Your system is working against you. Smart investors know that plugging the leak comes before filling the tank. You can't outinvest bad debt. This isn't about being conservative. It's about basic math. With Canadians carrying over $125 billion in credit card debt collectively, the interest payments alone represent a massive drain on wealth building potential. Consider someone carrying $5,000 in credit card debt at 20% interest. That costs $1,000 per year in interest payments alone. That's over $80 per month going straight to the bank. You could invest that $80 monthly for 30 years at 7% returns and end up with significant wealth. But instead, it disappears into interest payments. The math is simple. Eliminate the high interest drain first, then redirect that money into wealth-building assets. If you pay off that $5,000 debt, you immediately no longer have to pay 20%. It's like getting a 20% return on your money. Show me an investment that guarantees 20% returns with zero risk. You can't find one because it doesn't exist. Most financial advisors won't tell you about the order of operations. They want you to start investing immediately because they earn commissions on your investments. They don't make money when you pay off debt, but paying off high interest debt is often your best investment opportunity. Here's what happens when you get the order wrong. You start investing $200 monthly while carrying $5,000 in credit card debt at 20% interest. Your investments might grow 7% annually, but your debt costs you $1,000 in interest that same year. You're bleeding money even though you're investing for your future. Why most people fail at personal finance. They try to build wealth while their system has major leaks, making progress nearly impossible. They focus on investment returns while bleeding money through interest payments. They optimize for growth while their foundation crumbles. The solution is straightforward. Fix the leak first. Pay off high-interest debt before you start aggressive investing. Once you eliminate the drain, every dollar you invest can work without fighting against interest payments. Your system finally works with you instead of against you. But eliminating debt is just the first step in building a robust financial system. The next component your system needs is a financial shock absorber that prevents one emergency from destroying months of progress. Your emergency fund isn't just savings, it's the component that keeps your entire system running during unexpected hits. When life throws you a curveball, this fund absorbs the impact so your other financial components can keep working. Without it, your system breaks down the moment something goes wrong. Let me show you what happens without this buffer. You finally paid off $8,000 in credit card debt. You feel great about your progress, then your car needs a $2,500 repair. You don't have cash sitting around, so you charge the repair to your credit card. You're right back where you started. Months of progress destroyed in one afternoon. This cycle repeats constantly for people who skip the emergency fund. Job loss forces them to use credit cards for groceries. Medical bills go straight to high-interest debt. Home repairs restart the debt cycle. They make progress for months, then one crisis puts them back at square one. With many Canadians lacking even 1 month of living expenses and savings, this vulnerability becomes even more devastating for long-term financial stability. Without this buffer, a single car repair or job loss forces you to restart the debt cycle, destroying months of progress. The math becomes brutal. You spend 6 months paying off $5,000 in debt. Then an emergency forces you to charge $3,000. You're not just back to owing $3,000. You've also lost 6 months of progress and momentum. Your system fails because it can't handle normal life events. The emergency fund creates system resilience by preventing you from touching investments or accumulating new debt during crises. When your water heater breaks, you write a check from your emergency fund. You don't touch your retirement account. You don't stop your monthly investments. You don't add new credit card debt. Your wealth-building machine keeps running while you handle the crisis. This fund works like insurance for your entire financial system. You hope you never need it, but when you do, it saves you from disaster. A $1,000 emergency fund prevents you from adding $1,000 to your credit card debt. That's an immediate return equal to whatever high interest rate you would have paid. Show me a bank account that guarantees those returns. 3 to 6 months of expenses might seem like a lot, but this aligns with widely accepted financial planning principles and represents the difference between temporary setbacks and system failure. If your monthly expenses total $4,000, you need $12,000 to $24,000 in your emergency fund. That sounds overwhelming until you realize what happens without it. One job loss without savings forces you into massive debt that takes years to recover from. This fund transforms your financial system from fragile to robust, allowing other components to work without interruption. Your investments can compound uninterrupted. Your debt payments stay on schedule. Your budget works because you're not constantly dealing with crisis spending. Every part of your system functions better when you have this safety net. Building this fund requires discipline. The process is straightforward. Try to set aside 20% of each paycheck until you reach your target. Automate the transfer so you don't have to think about it. Keep the money in a separate savings account that you can access quickly but won't touch for everyday spending. The sequence matters here. Most people get this backwards. They try to build an emergency fund while carrying high interest debt. They save money earning minimal returns while paying high interest on credit cards. The math doesn't work. Pay off the expensive debt first, then build your emergency fund. This order maximizes the efficiency of each dollar saved. The emergency fund must come after debt elimination, but before aggressive investing to create maximum system stability. You need to stop the leak before you install the shock absorber. Once both pieces are in place, your system has transformed from constantly fighting against itself to working in your favor. You're no longer vulnerable to the everyday emergencies that destroy most people's financial progress. Your foundation is solid and ready for the component that changes everything. With your foundation complete, your system transforms from defensive to offensive through the power of compound growth. This multiplier effect only works when your foundation remains solid. Most people jump straight into investing without fixing their foundation first. They buy stocks while carrying credit card debt. They contribute to retirement accounts while having no emergency savings. This approach wastes the multiplier effect because their system keeps getting disrupted. Starting to invest with debt or no emergency fund is like trying to fill a bucket with holes. You pour water in the top while it leaks out the bottom. The bucket never fills no matter how much water you add. Your investments might grow 7% annually, but you're paying high interest on debt and pulling money out for emergencies. The multiplier effect gets wasted because your system fights against itself. But with a clean system, compound growth becomes incredibly powerful because every dollar can work uninterrupted for decades. You eliminated the debt that was draining your returns. You built the emergency fund that prevents you from touching investments during crisis. Now every dollar you invest can grow and reinvest its earnings without interruption. The math becomes compelling when you run the numbers. Take a hypothetical example. A 25-year-old investing $200 monthly at 7% growth will have over $525,000 by age 65. That's the multiplier in action. The person contributed $96,000 over 40 years, but ended up with $525,000. Where did the extra $429,000 come from? Compound growth. Their money made money, and that money made more money. This works because compound growth accelerates over time. In the first year, your $2,400 in contributions might grow to $2,568. Not impressive, but by year 20, your account balance starts growing by more than your annual contributions. By year 30, compound growth adds more each year than you put in. The money you invested decades ago keeps working and growing without any effort from you. The key insight: compound growth needs time and consistency, which only happens when your system isn't constantly disrupted. If you have to pull money out for emergencies, you lose years of compound growth on those dollars. If debt payments force you to stop contributing, you miss years of potential growth. Every interruption costs you exponentially because you lose not just the money, but all the future growth that money would have generated. Index funds and retirement accounts become your system's growth engines, automatically reinvesting and building momentum. Index funds spread your money across hundreds of companies, providing diversification that reduces risk while capturing market growth. When these companies pay dividends, the fund automatically reinvests that money to buy more shares. When share prices go up, your account value increases. This happens without any work from you. Retirement accounts like RRSP supercharge this process through tax advantages. Your contributions reduce your current tax bill. Your money grows tax-free for decades. Many employers offer matching contributions, which represents free money you should never leave on the table. These accounts turn compound growth into a wealth-building machine that works better than regular investment accounts. The specific order for maximum impact: debt elimination removes the drain, emergency fund prevents disruption, then investing creates exponential growth. You need all three pieces working together. Skip the first two, and your investing gets sabotaged by debt payments and emergency withdrawals. Follow the sequence, and each piece supports the others. This prevents the disruptions that destroy compound growth momentum. This sequence ensures each dollar invested can compound uninterrupted instead of being pulled back into crisis management. Your emergency fund handles life's surprises. Your debt-free status means no interest payments competing with investment returns. Your investment contributions can flow consistently into accounts that automatically reinvest and compound your wealth. Your system now has all three core components working together instead of fighting each other. The leak is plugged, the safety net is installed, and the growth engine is running. These three pillars form the foundation that supports your entire wealth-building system. Building wealth requires understanding that personal finance operates as an interconnected system where each component directly influences the others. This video focused on the three foundational components that form the core of any successful wealth-building system. These aren't just isolated strategies, they work together to create momentum that accelerates your progress. The difference between wealth builders and strugglers isn't income or luck. It's understanding that money management follows a specific sequence where order matters and each piece supports the others. Start with debt elimination to plug the leaks that drain your progress. Build your emergency fund to prevent disruptions that destroy momentum. Then activate compound growth through consistent investing. Your next step is clear. Tackle high-interest debt first. Every month you delay costs you money that could be working in your favor instead of against you. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to watch my next video on how you can save money fast without sacrificing your quality of life.